Hi guys, it's LynVanieuy and today is another story time video. Before I get into this video, which is a very serious story time, you will definitely need to watch the first one if you haven't yet. Maybe you should go back and rewatch it so you're kind of up to date. It's a little more fresh in your mind. I'll put a card up here and I'll also link it in the description box below so you guys can check it out before you continue watching this video, because it's definitely necessary in order for you to get through this. If you don't watch the first one, you're not really gonna understand what's happening. So this is an update on my stalker. If you guys are familiar with the previous video, I had talked about how I had been friends with this guy for many years and it turned out to be not a healthy relationship, so to speak. He was, to put it blatantly, obsessed with me. And so since the last video that I did, I hadn't been in communication with him. As I mentioned in my last video, it kind of ended off with a conversation between us over Facebook about how I was not keen on his behavior and the way he was acting towards me, and it was bordering on stalking. We had not been in communication, and then all of a sudden a bomb went off in my lap and I didn't do any updates because it was going to court. I didn't want to say anything that would jeopardize the hearing or like the proceedings with the court or get into any sort of legal trouble. So I figured I would wait till the end and just do one whole big update. So at the end of my last video, when I said he was bordering on stalkerish tendencies and behaviors, I was merely foreshadowing. So let's start from the beginning, shall we? Basically, a couple of months had gone by. The last time I filmed the video was in the previous year when I was still living at home with my parents. A couple of months ago, I'm not sure the exact date, I don't really want to go back on my phone and scroll back to see, our mutual friend, who for the purpose of this video we will call Lacey, reached out to me via Instagram. This was, I would say, early spring. Lacey and I knew each other because of Luke, and we were not really anything more than acquaintances. We were always friendly with each other, but we didn't really know each other on a personal level. So she had messaged me over Instagram and asked if she could call me. And this freaked me out a little bit because, like I said, we have not been more than acquaintances to each other. And I thought, as far as I knew, that she was still friends with Luke. So I thought that Luke had been running his mouth to Lacey and telling her shit about me. And I thought she was trying to call me to tear me a new asshole or something. So I was kind of like, do you have to call me? But she did end up calling me, and what she had to say to me absolutely blew my fucking mind. Basically, Luke and Lacey had remained friends. They had been best friends for like 7 years. He was at the time living with one of her friends. So on Valentine's Day, he had gone over to Lacey's and stayed the night, and they were sleeping on separate couches in the living room. And sometime in the early morning, Lacey had gotten up, gone to a bedroom, and went back to sleep. Apparently, Luke had followed her into the bedroom and laid down beside her and ended up sexually assaulting her while she slept. Lacey, trying to avoid a confrontation, just basically tried to ignore the situation. It had later gotten around to her friend that Luke was staying with, and she had kicked Luke out of the house because he sexually assaulted Lacey. So he had left a bunch of things around her friend's house, and as Lacey and her friend were cleaning up these items of Luke's to give them back to him, they found a USB. And obviously that seemed a little odd, so they just decided to take a look at the USB. What they found on the USB was thousands of pictures of girls, a majority of them being Lacey and a majority of them being me. So Lacey wanted to reach out to me to tell me that she had found this USB and there was pictures, a lot of them of me, a lot of them of her, and she was going to take him to court. Originally, he was supposed to get a domestic abuse because Lacey and Luke had dated in the past, as well as a sexual assault charge. But Lacey didn't want to go to trial. She just wanted it to be done and over with as quick as possible. So the lawyers ended up coming to a conclusion that instead of Luke getting a domestic and a sexual, he was instead going to get 2 regular assault charges. Now, obviously, nobody was very impressed impressed with that, but she didn't want to go to trial, and I honestly don't blame her because I've heard of some trial cases and they fucking tear the victim to shreds, and that was one of the reasons I never ended up taking my abuser to court, because I would not be able to be torn apart. So basically, a USB containing pictures of me ended up in an evidence locker. And on the 23rd, a week ago, I missed half a day of work and went to court with Lacey, her mom, her sisters, her friends, and my mom for my own personal emotional support. And we went to court to have him be sentenced. Unfortunately, it ended up just being a pre-sentencing, and he's not actually going to be sentenced until a later date, which really sucks. But he's being accused of 2 assault charges. He's probably gonna get off with a slap on the wrist, unfortunately, but that's life and it fucking sucks. And I feel so bad for Lacey, and it makes me feel sick to my stomach that these things often get just a slap on the wrist. When he's already had charges, not for something similar, but still, clearly he's headed down a really fucked up path in life and he's not going to get very far. So yeah, that's my crazy update on the stalker situation. And I also wanted to mention that I was so upset and so infuriated. During the entire time, we had to sit through a bunch of other court proceedings until that particular one came up, and this whole time Luke just had the most smug fucking look on his face. So that was pretty tough to watch him not even care about what he did, and it was quite clear that he didn't care what he did. And on top of that, at the end of everything, when we found out that it was just a pre-sentencing, to sit there and watch Lacey cry because she so bad had just wanted this to be done and over with, and that's the reason she didn't take it to trial, because she just wanted it to be quick and painless, and instead it's getting delayed yet again. It was absolutely heartbreaking and devastating to see how upset she was. I just figured I would give you guys an update on that situation. It's been a long time. It's kind of a lot to process. Yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I always feel so weird saying, oh, I hope you enjoyed this video when it's something not so positive and happy. But please, regardless, give this video a thumbs up. Show me your support. It would mean a lot to me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's be friends. Don't forget, you can follow me on all my social media pages. I leave them linked in the description box below for you guys to check out. Follow me everywhere, but don't stalk me. And when this all comes to a close, I will definitely be giving yet another update. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, keep shining. Bye, guys.